Democratic governors, Democratic mayors, people in power from the left have made an intentional effort to destroy this country with their quarantines, with their forced use of face masks, threatening people with arrest, with all the other things that they have done. Soon it'll be vaccines that we're required to take, even if we don't want to. It could be extremely dangerous. They brought the economy to the knees. They used the communist Chinese to do it. Of course, the communist Chinese are their friends. They love Mao more than they would love and do love George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, or any of our great founding fathers. In fact, just today, in my own district in South Florida, they're trying to remove Dixie from Dixie Highway. This is the latest that's out there. The country is more than under attack. The country is under siege. We are already in a leftist revolution to take over and take control of this country. And our president needs to do something. He just can't talk. But here's something that can be done. I urge all of the police in this country and people in similar positions to go on strike, just like John Galt did in Atlas Shrugged. And I suggest you watch those movies and read the book. You can find the movies at Amazon.com. I'll tell you something, if that happens, the silent majority will no longer be silent. They will come forward. They will demand action from the president and demand action from others. But the police should simply lay down their arms and say, no, I've had enough. You fend for yourself, people of the United States. We've been disrespected. We've been abused. We've been harmed. We've been killed. We've had it. Enough is enough, and enough is too much. And that should happen also in other sectors of the economy as well, and in terms of this country. Because unless, in particular, white people are forced to see that they can no longer stay silent, that they have become the Rosa Parks. They are at the back of the bus, worse than the back of the bus. The radical blacks and others are saying that white people are born in terms of heredity with innate racism. I mean, this is where we're at right now. Black separatist ideology, similar to Louis Farrakhan, is pervading radical blacks, and not just radical blacks. And most black people are not this way, by the way. And ordinary good black people can certainly join in this cause. But you've got the Jewish left. You know, I'm a Jewish Christian myself. I'm a Zionist. I'm proud to be Jewish, but I'm not proud of these people. These people aren't Jews. They're not Jews at all. No more than Marx was, no more than Trotsky was, no more than Alinsky was, no more than Howard Zinn was, who has been feeding this crap to the American youth for many, many years, that we live in a terrible country with founding fathers who are a disgrace. This guy's a disgrace. He disgraced to Jewry. These people should be thrown out of any semblance of being related to Jewish people. They're disgusting. They're despicable. And I'll tell you something, every group has a radical presence like this. And it's time for the people of the United States to rise up before it's too late, because we're headed into a violent revolution, and I want to see that avoided. You know, you talk about racism. What's going on right now is that they're going to turn a lot of white people who weren't racist into racists. That's what's happening. Not just regard to radical blacks, but it's going to foment anti-Semitism. It's going to foment even more negative feelings about Muslims, right? You know, because of what the radical Muslims do. People like Ilhan Omar and Rashida Tlaib, who want to destroy this country. They are actually creating a condition of where people are going to react, and they're going to become racist. And that's not fair, and that's not right, because most of the people in these groups are good people, but it's these bad people. And the president sits there and does nothing. I love the president. I want him to win. But if he does nothing, he will be shown the door. It's not enough to talk. It's not enough to tweet. It's not enough to get up on a soapbox and talk. The people want action. You have the ability to mobilize police and everyone else to clean house. These people are domestic terrorists. They should be arrested. They should be sent to Guantanamo. They should be given a military trial. And if convicted, they should be thrown in the slammer for quite a long time, if not for life. And that's where it's going right now, because if we don't defend ourselves, we'll be slaughtered. Make no mistake about it. The radical left wants us dead. They want to kill us. I'm not talking about figuratively. I'm talking about actually. And that's another reason, is that we have formed a project at Freedom Watch, a defensive project, not offensive. I do not advocate the use of arms against anybody. But this country needs to arm itself. It needs to exercise its Second Amendment rights. It needs to use a militia the way the militia was intended by our founding fathers. There's nothing dirty about the word militia. That's a defense when the government becomes so tyrannical that you have to defend yourself. And the government is tyrannical because the government is now controlled by these ultra-leftists as the president sits there in the Oval Office and does little to nothing. And I'm talking about state and local government and other forms of government, which has become the enemy of the people. And that's where we are today. We're at Atlas Shrugged. I urge you to read the book by Ayn Rand and look at and watch the movies. They're not great movies. They're B movies. They get progressively worse in terms of choreography and talent when it goes from part 1 to part 3. But it makes the point, and people need to understand that Ayn Rand's prophecy in 1957, when there was a communist threat on the horizon, has now become reality. She forecasted. And I want you also to support our class action at freedomwatchusa.org against the communist Chinese and our criminal case in The Hague, Holland, and the other actions that we're taking in Jerusalem, Israel, because you know what? The president's not standing up to the Chinese either, and he needs to do so. We need to give him the strength to do that. He should be unafraid. If he's unafraid and not worried about getting reelected, he will be reelected. I say that in my personal capacity. I don't tell people who to vote for, but Larry Klayman will be voting for President Trump. There is no alternative. But President Trump, do your job. Right now, you're not doing it. That's my message for today. Go to freedomwatchusa.org. Support our cause. Sign up for our class actions to see if you qualify. Our cases against social media, our cases against other evil people and entities in society. We are your Justice Department. You have no Justice Department. Bill Barr is a Republican establishment hack. That's what he is. Hasn't held one person accountable. And now even Grassley is complaining, Senator Grassley, former chairman of the Judiciary Committee, that unless somebody's indicted before the election, forget it. But there doesn't have anybody indicted, believe me, because Barr is worried about pushback on himself and fellow establishment Republicans by the Democrats. They're afraid. They're hiding under their desk. We're not hiding under our desk at Freedom Watch. Go to freedomwatchusa.org. Share this podcast. You can find it on Spotify, iTunes, Roku, Amazon Fire, Parlay, Twitter, Facebook. Share it far and wide. Get out the clarion call. We are in an emergency state of crisis. We will get through this crisis with God's grace. God helps those that help themselves. Until tomorrow, stay safe. God bless you and your family. I'll be back with another special podcast. Thank you for listening to me.
Hey, I'm Andy. If you don't know me, it's probably because I'm not famous. But I did start a men's grooming company called Harry's. The idea for Harry's came out of a frustrating experience I had buying razor blades. Most brands were overpriced, overdesigned, and out of touch. At Harry's, our approach is simple. Here's our secret. We make sharp, durable blades and sell them at honest prices for as low as $2 each. We care about quality so much that we do some crazy things, like buy a world-class German blade factory. Obsessing over every detail means we're confident in offering a 100% quality guarantee. Millions of guys have already made the switch to Harry's, so thank you if you're one of them. And if you're not, we hope you give us a try with this special offer. Get a Harry's starter set with a 5-blade razor, weighted handle, shave gel, and a travel cover, all for just $3 plus free shipping. Just go to harrys.com and enter 5,000 at checkout. That's harrys.com, code 5,000. Enjoy!